one of the largest Trump offices, kind of a grassroots office in Oakland County. And Diane, thank you for those of you who stopped into the office. Most of the people here have been in and out of that office. Diane Schindelbeck, who's not here with us, she ran the west side of the state, a large grassroots office. And we all got together, we decided to tour the state of Michigan, really to just bring people together. That's the reason we've all let you sit here for an hour and just have a drink or eat dinner, is because is there anything better right now in this hostile climate than sitting in a room with this many people and we all love our president?
Like family.
I mean, last week was a horrific week. What were the three things that happened last week?
Well, has anybody been watching the confirmation hearing?
Yes.
Wow. Yeah, they're scared. They're going to lose their way to just push policies through with activist judges, and that's what they're so desperately upset about.
And then there was the New York Times coward, treasonous coward.
Yep.
I'm really proud of the president. I loved listening to him right before I was getting ready to come here. I mean, he's calling him out. He wants this guy rooted out, and I think that's exactly what we need. But you know, it's treason, and it just shows you this deep state that we are up against with this president. And how many people here know that in 2020, President Trump is going to have a tough time getting reelected? Right? And so these midterm elections, the reason that we brought you here tonight, this election is so important because if we don't keep Michigan now, if we don't do everything we can to keep Michigan right now, how much harder is it going to be to keep it for Trump in 2020, right?
Right. How about Nike? We didn't talk about Nike and touch on Colin Kaepernick. Yes.
Yep.
Instead of the fake news, we know the real news. We know that unemployment is at 3.9%.
Yes.
We know that that's a 49-year low. Right. We know that in August alone, there have been 201,000 jobs were created. Right. That's real news.
Right. Yep. And so it's up to the people in this room to fight back to protect President Trump. That's why we brought you together. This is going to be a little depressing the nenext couple minutes because I know everybody's having fun, but I'm going to read you some sobering numbers from our primary election. The 15th state Senate race. Is Jim Runstead here? Okay, Jim is a champion. Let's give Jim a hand. This is in his area. He is a champion for our conservative cause. His opponent in the primary race had 630 more Democrats show up to vote. That's absolutely terrifying for people who live here in the 15th.
Yep.
39th House District, right here. Where's Ryan Berman? Ryan Berman. This was once a solid red seat, so was the 15th, right? There were 147 more Democrat votes that showed it. The 41st House District, which we were last night, that was in Troy. Doug Teets is running for that seat. 97 more Democrats showed up in that seat. Okay, but this is the scariest, most terrifying number of all. It's really why we decided to organize these three events. In the 11th Congressional District, which is almost 90% of everybody here's district, 2,942 more Democrats showed up.
In the primary.
In the primary election. We have a big job to do. And we have two ways to do it, right? No, wait, let's talk first really quick about Haley. What did we see last night? 2 nights ago. We were at
Haley Stevens, who is running against Lena Epstein for the 11th Congressional District, put on a 15-minute presentation where they answered 3 questions.
It was painful. We had to sit there for 15 minutes and listen to Haley Stevens.
Wasn't it, Michonne?
Yep.
Yeah, it was scary. But the good news is that Lena is running against her, and Lena is, of course, in favor of Michigan jobs, fighting for lower taxes. She wants to eliminate burdensome regulations. She's going to secure our borders. She is 100% pro-Trump.
Yes.
Always has been. We worked with Lena very hard, co-chair of Michigan for the Trump campaign. She 100% supports our president, and that's really what we want to tell you is we think this race, and I saw it on Fox News before I came here tonight, because of Obama speaking. How many people heard Obama
No.
yesterday?
Wait. Who said this? We're going to have to work to deliver America for our kids. Doesn't that sound awesome? Well, Obama said it today.
Right.
It's like, this is like he is out firing up his troops.
Right.
And that's why we are all here.
Right.
Yeah, Haley Stevens has never had a real job. She only was appointed in the Obama administration. She supports open borders, free abortions for all, higher taxes to pay for free health care, and free college for everyone. I mean, just let that sink in. That's going to be your representation unless we all get together. So this election is so important. We need a red wave. You've heard that word. You in this room are the red wave. You are the tipping point for all of it. And this is about protecting President Trump. So we have two ways that you can make a real difference in this election. The first is that everybody here, what kind of people show up on a Saturday morning at a barn, or in Troy at a Polish club to eat pierogi on a Friday night, or a Saturday night to show up at a political event? And you don't even know why you came here, right?
Michelle,
Right.
these kind of people.
These kind of people. You're a special kind of weird, all of you. And what I like to say is that you are, you people, it was Roseanne who said this, you each represent a circle of influence, right? When it comes to election time, it's your friends and your family and your neighbors who say, who do I vote for? Who are you voting for, right, Sandy?
Yep.
You represent probably 15, 20 people's votes. I know it, and I know it's the same for everybody in this room, because if you're politically involved, you're the people that people go to.
But they can't wait. You can't wait till the people come to you.
Right.
This time, you're going to have to go to them, and you're going to have to, like, you're voting, right? You have to make sure that your circle of influence, your children, your grandchildren, your friends, their children, make sure they are all voting.
Yeah, because we ran into a guy at a festival last week. He's a tough Republican. He's always voted Republican. He's a great friend of ours, donated to my husband's campaign. And we're standing on the street, and he's telling us about his fabulous vacation he has planned. He's going to be in Europe, and then he's going to be in Greece. And I'm like, where are you going to be on November 6th? He goes, oh, we're going to be in Greece. And I'm like, well, do you have your absentee ballot? No. You know, and then you know what he said to me? Would you mail it to me? That's honestly. And you know what? I'm going to. What else are we going to do? I mean, maybe we have to baby them. Maybe we have to drive them. Maybe Marion has, how many kids do you have? Like 8?
12.
12. She's got a lot of kids. 2 of her kids didn't vote in the last primary election because they're busy and they've got little kids and, you know, they're working. So the second way is that we need to engage voters through a couple of events. We're sharing them with you tonight. A lot of you have a flyer on your table. How many people in here have knocked doors for a candidate before?
All
Okay,
right.
see, these are active people. But if doors are not your thing, you can also show up at our office. We're going to have an event where you're going to stuff bags with the literature that the door knockers need, so you can do that. If you like to just sit and make phone calls, we're going to have an event for 2 nights where for an hour we give you an iPad, we teach you how to use it, and you make phone calls discussing the wretched, witchy Gretchen Whitmer.
Witchmere. What I call her.
Yes. So these are, boo. These are going to be fun phone calls to make, right? You get to call into people's homes and basically
And
explain.
it includes dinner.
And it includes dinner. Free dinner.
Dinner included.
So those 2 nights are
September 13th. That's going to be at Uptown Grill, our favorite Uptown Grill, home of the Lakes Area Tea Party. And September 25th is Granite City in Troy.
You can come to one or come to both. We'll feed you a fabulous dinner twice. We're also going to have representatives from the Michigan Republican Party there. They're going to help you get an app on your phone. It's Jonathan Duke right there. They've got a whole team actually back here from the party. Thank you for being here. Actually, they could probably show you how to do it tonight if you wanted to. So you need to get the app on your phone. It's very simple. And then we are going to help mobilize you. You know what? You just have to walk your neighborhood if that's all you want to do. Walk your precinct.
But if you're not comfortable with that, there's people that just, it's a good thing. Like, I always like the buddy system. So you're not gonna do anything that you're not comfortable with. That's very important. We're not asking you to knock on doors by yourself. You know, it's like if you need to be with somebody, it's probably likely that that person needs to be with somebody.
We make
too.
it fun. We make everything fun. Trump makes everything fun, right? So that's what we're doing. We're making everything fun. You go out in a minivan, you got 6 people, you get donuts and coffee, and you all break up and go in a different direction, and then you come back to the minivan and you drive to the next neighborhood. It's actually a lot of fun, and it always includes food. Okay, so before you leave, plan on becoming involved in one of those 2 ways, because that's why you showed up here, and it's up to you. Oakland County, the 11th Congressional District, it could come right down to you. Jim Runstead, Ryan Berman, they need you. Otherwise, you're going to wake up on November 7th, and you're going to be faced with Democrats or your representation. So that's crucial. Okay, we've got some great speakers. Who do we have? We have some candidates that showed up here tonight. John James was trying to get here tonight, but he got invited to West Point, which is really exciting. He's going to be speaking for a 9/11 memorial, and so I'm pretty sure he's already in a plane or on his way to the airport for that. But we've got tons of John James stuff. We have Bill Schuette signs out there. Who do we have tonight?
So we have, we'll have Lena Epstein.
Yes, Lena.
Let's start with Lena. Yeah, and then they can just come up afterwards. So Lena, when you're done, Jim, would you come up? And then Jim, when you're finished, Ryan, will you come up? And then do we have is Tammy or we've got Ian. He'll come after Ryan for Mary Trader Lang. And then somebody is here for Tammy, Patty Bowers. Okay, great. All right, thanks, Lena.
Thank you.
Good evening, everybody. How are we doing? Good evening, Republicans in Michigan's 11th District. How are we doing?
Yeah!
My name is Lena Epstein. It's an honor to be the Republican nominee. I just want to take a moment and applaud the Michigan Trump Republicans again on a phenomenal, well-organized, well-attended grassroots event. You guys rock. I've been telling friends and family and supporters across the district a few harrowing statistics about August 7th. And I think the fact that more Democrats came out than Republicans is very, very serious. Yep. But the good news is I actually think that the fact that that happened is a great thing for us.
Yes.
It has sharpened our skills, it has honed our attention. We are focused, we are organized. As somebody who travels this district all day, every day, oh hello, I can tell you that Republicans and independents, and even a couple of Democrats are starting to realize the immediate financial economic benefit under President Trump's administration. Is anybody else feeling that in this room besides me? I'd like to take a moment to thank MIGOP for being here, for your leadership. It's truly a partnership. MIGOP partners with MTR, partners with individual campaigns, and it's been an honor to work with you. We are gonna cross that finish line together. Thank you. I'd like to impart one thought. I will be brief. My opponent, I won't even state her name. But my opponent essentially stands for everything that's the opposite of what we stand for. Mm-hmm. My opponent thinks that larger government, more regulation, higher taxes, open borders, as Michonne said, is somehow a good thing for the country. We cannot and will not let this district go. And it's going to be a tough fight. And I have to ask you, is every single one of you in this room ready to go over the next 59 days to make sure that we keep Michigan 11 in Republican hands? God bless you. I love you all. Lena Epstein, please check us out at lenaforcongress.com. In case anybody hasn't heard, it's going to be a very expensive race. But I will do as the candidate, I will ensure that the campaign is well funded, so we have the resources necessary to compete directly against that Democrat. And we're going to keep Michigan 11 in Republican hands exactly where she belongs for the next 2 years, and we're going to help. We are going to help President Trump.
Yes.
God bless you all. Thank you.
Thank you, Lena. Lena, are you going to be able to stay around afterwards? I understand that you can play the piano.
I can play the piano, but my husband Eric and I have a 10-and-a-half-month-old baby at home. So we are going to go home to her after this, and being a mom and being a wife is pretty cool. But I would love to entertain you another time.
All right. There we go.
Yeah. All right, thank you, Lena. I forgot to mention, these events are, although tonight you're on your own, Bill, we have had 2 events that we really have picked up the tab on. So if you're inclined, Roseanne will talk a little bit more about this later, but we're going to pass around a jar. If you have a couple extra bucks you can put in, we would really appreciate it. It will help us to perhaps do more of these type of events before the election. So with that, thank you, and Jim Runstead.
All right, Jim.
Thank you, Marianne, and thank you, Trump Republicans, for putting this event together to get this number of people all together in one room. And on Saturday evening is a very tough thing, so they obviously worked extremely hard to make this happen, to make sure that we win this election coming up in November. And Sean outlined a little bit of what's going on here, particularly in Oakland County, more so than the rest of the entire state of Michigan. And that is, it's challenging. Some of the independents, other voters within the district are being a little bit more difficult this year in terms of how we have to get across to them, how we have to message. In this Senate district, the 15th Senate district, which includes Novi, goes all the way over to South Lyon, up to Milford, White Lake, Commerce, West Bloomfield, Novi, and all the areas in between, has usually been about a 15% Republican district, which is usually safe. This year, it's not. It's about 50-50 because of the dynamic going on. The previous years, this primary that just ended had about 11,000 Democrats, 20,000 Republicans that voted. This year, 600 more Democrats than Republicans. It's never happened. It's off the charts the number of Democrats just showed up. And so what you get if you don't activate and get involved is somebody, my opponent, who's 100% pro-abortion, hates guns. Every one of her posts are just how horrible guns are. She wants a single payer paid for by the state of Michigan. Every one of us would be taxed to the bejesus to pay for every single person on some cobbled together plan paid for by the entire state of Michigan. She rails against Donald Trump and says he was so cruel to human beings of MS-13. These are people, these are the most horrendous human beings on the face of the earth, torturing people relentlessly as part of who they are. That is what you get on that side. On my side, for those of you who don't know me, I'm a state representative. I started in the county commission. I was elected in 2008. And the first thing that I said I was going to do is try to stop all the illegal workers we had at the county from being employed on the public taxpayer dime. We had all of the golf courses were done mostly, the work was done by illegal workers. The airport, almost all done by illegal workers. And many of the contracts, subcontractors, roads, asphalting done by illegal workers. So I put in a bill to require E-Verify on every contract, which would eliminate them all.
Awesome.
Out of 25 commissioners, I had one support me. All the rest, I found out all the, number one, along with a lot of self-interest I was finding out, this company, because you save about 40 cents on the dollar on labor when you use illegal workers, had mountains of money gushing into campaigns, and I couldn't seem to break through that. So I had a bunch of activists, people just like you, who came to the committee hearings. They were Tuesday morning, it was rainy, and the first one we had 66 people show up, the second time 140 people show up. They wanted to vote on this, and the commissioners were voting not to vote. And so I was telling everybody, we've got to keep the pressure on. And the next meeting was going to be a night meeting, and I told leadership we will have 500 people in the auditorium, which only seats about 250, but there was going to be 500. And I said, we're going to put a camera on every single commissioner's face. Because when they were doing public comment, they were snickering and laughing and rolling their eyes, and they thought it was so funny. I said, okay, they'll think it's funny when a camera is on every single face. So then another week goes by, they were getting attacked at their fundraisers. Finally, leadership called, they said, call off the dogs, we're going to vote it through. Went through unanimous, and to this day, there's not a single illegal worker in Oakland County, not on contracting, subcontracting, road commission, or the county, not $1 goes.
Thank you, Jim.
But I ran for the state house. I said, that is the kind of person I'm going to be when I get there. And so many people said, we've heard it all before. Oh, you're going to be a steel beam with a titanium spine when you get up there. And you get up there in about 3 months, you turn to chalk and you're crumbling with all the pressure and all of the temptations and the lobbyist pay and the free food and the booze, and you'll just be crumbling like everybody else. And I said, I will vote exactly the way Pete told people on the campaign trail is exactly what I will do when I get in office. The Maxwell Center recently did I don't know if you saw this, a survey. They looked at the last 12 years, 500 representatives who went through Lansing. Of the 500, 12 people went through their second year without voting for any crony capitalism, and I was one of that 12.
All right.
And every survey that's been done, about 8 groups do surveying of all your votes. I've been in the top tier of every one of those votes. And that's the kind of person that you will get as a state senator if on November 6th I prevail. If I don't, and it's going to be touch and go, you're going to get this Antifa socialist that is going to be in the office. So I really need your help. We did pass out, I'm having a fundraiser on the 17th. I don't know how many of you know Tom Leonard. He is the Speaker of the House. He won the primary for the Attorney General, and he's looking very good to be our next Attorney General. He will be there. You get to meet him. I would really appreciate, I think these are everyone has one. I'd appreciate it if you could come and show me some support. Every dollar is going to be needed to make sure we prevail. Lastly, I know that the Trump Republicans have your information, but if you specifically wanted to help with the campaign, we did give you some of these as well that you can get to me if you want to be actively involved with the campaign. I so appreciate all of you coming out, turning out tonight. You didn't have to come here. You could have done a million other things. You obviously care about the culture, the country, the community, your kids, your grandkids, and I can't thank you enough so much. Thank you so much.
All right, Jim.
Thank you, Jim. We cannot afford to lose Jim Runstead. Next, Ian, would you like to come up and talk on behalf of Mary Trader?
Sure.
I know the thanks have gone to the Michigan Trump Republicans enough tonight, but once again, please everyone just give a round of applause for Michelle and Marianne, Roseanne, and Matt. Putting together an event like this is never an easy task. And again, and also, I'd like everyone to give a round of applause for all of you who came out tonight. It's
yes.
people like you who helped Trump get elected in 2016, and that energy is going to help get him reelected in 2020. My name's Ian Barber. I'm the campaign manager for Mary Trader Lang, who is running to be your next Secretary of State. She was able to secure the nomination at the state convention. So anyone who is here at the state convention that vote for her, thank you for your support. And those who weren't there, hope to get your support as we move forward, because this election is very critical, not only for 2018, but 2020 and beyond. Because of the ballot initiative that's going out right now, voters not politician. Who here understands what voters not politician is?
Scam.
For those who did not raise their hand, please look it up. It is a very liberal, bias push ballot initiative that gives a commission the ability to redraw not only our congressional districts, but our state districts as well for Senate and state reps. If that is to pass, the Secretary of State who wins in November oversees that committee. We are up against a Democrat who is funded not only by George Soros,
Yep.
but also by Hillary Clinton. Both of them have given money directly to our opponent. We cannot afford to have a Democrat take over this position. Right now, things are looking very critical for all positions, but right now with Secretary of State, this is really very critical. And having a conservative Republican there to make sure that our integrity of the election is secured, the information that's stored at the Secretary of State is secured. Mary has a background of cybersecurity for over 15 years. She knows what it takes to keep things secure. She's also a CPA, knows how to do more with less. Being able to provide optimal customer service at the branch offices, or even wanting to do it remotely where you can do it on your mobile apps, and partnering up with Michigan-based businesses to have kiosks in like a Meijer so you don't have to wait in line at the Secretary of State's office.
All right.
We've been very fortunate for the last 3 Secretary of States having Republicans here making sure that things are run smoothly. We cannot afford to lose it now, because if we are to lose the Secretary of State's here this year, and with the voters not politicians, if it passes, the Democrats could have complete control when it comes to redistricting, and
Forever.
we could run forever, and it will never go away. And once you lose something, it's very hard to win it back. This is why we need everybody here engaged, going out door to door. And it's not just for Secretary of State. Every Republican candidate that's on the ballot, we need to win. We need the majority kept, and that's what it's going to take, is everyone in this room being as engaged as you are tonight, coming out here on a Saturday night, being as engaged between now and these next 59 days. And I ask for your support, and I ask you to also support every single Republican on the ballot. That's what it's going to take to win in November. Thank you.
Great job.
Thank you, Ian. I just want to remind everybody, in 2016, it's like Michigan, we won the state by 10,600 votes. Now, just imagine if that had been Jocelyn Benson as our Secretary of State. That dang recount would have taken place in every cemetery in Michigan.
Right.
So, thank you so much, Ian.
And Ian also touched on the redistricting, the People versus Politicians initiative that's on the ballot. And on Monday, if you're available, the Lakes Area Tea Party is hosting Professor William Wagner, and he's going to speak on that subject. And I know many of you did not raise your hands, so you don't understand what that's all about. This is a perfect opportunity for you to come out and really understand it so that you can educate your circle of influence. So that's going to be on Monday at 7 o'clock. 7 o'clock, and it's at Tommy's Big Parthenon in Novi on Grand River. So please join us for that. Next, we want to we're gonna stop with the candidates for just a second and have Scott Hagerstrom come up. Scott was the he was Trump's Michigan campaign manager. So he managed the whole state for Trump, and obviously did a great job because we won. So Scott Hagerstrom, please come up and say a few words.
Great, thank you very much. So the road to the White House runs through Michigan in 2020.
Yep.
If we lose Pennsylvania and Michigan, the Democrats take the White House.
Yep.
Do you want that?
No.
I don't either. I don't know much about Pennsylvania. I've lived in Michigan my whole life. And I'm going to do everything I can to fight to make sure Trump wins Michigan in 2020. And what happens in November will set the stage for how much of a battle we have in 2020. I want to see Trump there through 2024. Do you?
Yeah.
Well, we can't have a Democrat Attorney General who's suing the president every other week. Mm-hmm. We can't have a George Soros, someone who sits on the Southern Poverty Law Center board, if you're familiar with that group, as our Secretary of State counting the votes. And we can't have a governor criticizing the president and his policies every single day of the week, every time we turn on the local news. Let me tell you about Gretchen Whitmer. One fact about her. She's a hypocrite. Have you seen the DNC ad accusing Bill Schuette of corporate welfare?
Yep.
Jim Runstad talked earlier about the Mackinac Center and crony capitalism. There's a list of 12 people that didn't vote for any out of 500. On the other side of that list, there's people that voted for crony capitalism. Gretchen Whitmer was 12 out of 500. Billions and billions of dollars.
Yep.
She is in the back pocket of CEOs, big corporations.
Blue Cross.
Blue Cross
Yep.
Blue Shield. Billions and billions of dollars. We have the fight of our life going on here, and we need all of you to step up to the plate. Because I don't know about you, but if those people are elected, and the people you saw here, Lena Epstein, Jim Runstad, Berman, we need all of them elected. But they can't get elected. You see how fired up the Democrats are? It's like we were in 2010.
Yep.
We sort of sat on our laurels the last year and a half. Oh, Trump was elected. We need to get out there and we need to work as hard as possible. As hard as possible. Your money, your time, the future of this country, the future of the world depends on it. Michigan, it's not just about the future of Michigan. Some people are saying, well, some of the people running in Michigan, well, I don't, it's okay if they lose. No, it's not okay. Because Michigan can put Trump over the top in 2020. And we need all Republicans to win in November because they'll be there for the president. These people have proven to be there for the president in 2016. So we need to be there for them so they can be there again for President Trump in 2020.
Yes.
So, thank you.
Thank you, Scott.
Thank you, Scott. Okay, Ryan, are you ready?
Rashad. We'll do this really quick.
Ryan Berman is running in the 39th, which encompasses Commerce, a portion of West Bloomfield, Wixom.
Yeah. All of Commerce Township, Wixom, Wolverine Lake, and the western half of West Bloomfield, 39th District. Thanks for putting this on, and I know you gave some sobering numbers and talking about vote totals, but it's actually worse than what you said. Because where us and the Republicans, and especially in my race, there's 4 people, so you come out and vote for who you want. On the Democrat side, there's just one candidate. Not everybody goes through and fills in that bubble. There's no reason to. If you look at the vote totals, starting with the governor's race, there's actually
60,000.
1,000 more Democrats came out, which is 7%. So a 7% more Democrat turnout in the primary. If they have that 7% turnout more in the general, I lose. And nothing I can do about it. So we need everybody here, and to tell your neighbors to get off your butts and go vote. If you're going to be out of town, get an absentee ballot. My own uncle forgot about the race, and it was up in Charlevoix, and he drove back because he forgot to do the absentee ballot. A lot of people who aren't in this room, who aren't engaged, oh yeah, we have an election coming up, November, whatever. They don't have it in their calendar. They don't have it circled. They're not looking forward to it as much as we are. So it's up to us to engage them. We can't be the silent majority anymore. The silent majority came out for Trump. When I was walking for, actually my brother, in 2016, I saw Trump signs, I saw hitting the doors, I had some Trump momentum, I felt this buzz, and no matter what the media said, and all this Hillary support, I would get private messages on Facebook. Oh, and because I would be on Facebook defending, I was sick of their echo chamber and the liberals and my Democrat friends, and I would get private messages, oh, thanks for saying that, I'm so-and-so's uncle, I couldn't do it because I don't want to cause a rift in the family. Oh, by the way, I'm voting for your guy, you're right, Hillary's a terrible candidate. Perception becomes reality sometimes. And they print it up, oh, Hillary was going to win, silent majority, we come out there, Trump wins. Talking about the engaged enthusiasm, all the Democrats coming out for this primary, it's through the roof. We can't just sit back. We can't say, oh, we're all going to come out again. Oh, we're going to counter it. You have to have those conversations. Today, oh, we don't talk about politics, so I can't talk about it with my family. You have to start talking about politics. You have to engage. Because you don't want your neighbor to think, oh yeah, I'm a Trump supporter, I'm afraid to say it. You're not alone.
Right. You're not alone.
Get out there, talk about it. What's the worst thing that can happen? You find out your neighbor is I'm not gonna say it. Now you know where they stand, so it's a win-win. But we have to engage. I mean, and this is why. I'm gonna leave you with one story, and this is what we're up against. I had my 9-year-old daughter at the poll for me, saying, "Vote for my daddy." And someone came up and said, "Oh, is your daddy a Republican or a Democrat?" She said, "A Republican." She said, "Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. He's a monster and he's ruining this world." I'm a 9-year-old.
Yep.
Well, I mean, she didn't know me, but these people, the liberals, the far left, the Democrats, we have to go after, and they have to understand, we're not all bad. We're not monsters. I had a 25-minute conversation on the door when somebody said, "Oh, you're a Republican? Oh, no. Get out of here. I hate Trump." Nobody else was answering the door that day, so I said, I have some time. I'll deal with this. 25 minutes later, after going through it and going over policy and showing the hypocritism of the media and what they do, and they praise Obama and they vilify Trump, and getting them to use facts and saying, hey, have these tax policies affected you? How has these tax policies put more money in your pocket? If you can show me a drop in services as a part of your lowering taxes, then we can talk. But they can't do that. After 25 minutes, I got their vote. And I got them to change their opinion and say about really looking at the media and how biased they are against Trump. And that's what we have to do, is not be afraid to say Trump in public. Not be afraid to say that to your neighbors. And use facts. And don't get heated, and because that's what they do. And they're using emotion. Logic over emotion. And use that. And that's the tool in the toolbox. Let's do it. Let's make sure we get our base, talk to your neighbors, talk to everybody, and get out there to vote.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Ryan. So we have Lori Levi out in the hall there selling her Trump wear, and we've partnered with Lori for the last couple of years, and it's been an awesome partnership. And if you don't have a Trump shirt, you need to get one and wear it to your Kroger's.
Mm-hmm.
And it's interesting because I'll put mine on in the morning, and then I end up going to Kroger's and all this, and I've forgotten I have it on. So all of a sudden it's like you kind of get some weird looks, and then all of a sudden you go,
right.
Get all these people doing this to you. And you're like, oh yeah, the Trump shirt. So really, wear it.
Mm-hmm.
They can't key you, like if you put it on your car, but wear your shirt. And you'll be surprised how many people stand with you and really do appreciate our president. And it makes a great difference. And when you start seeing those thumbs up, we're still winning. I'd like to invite Patty Bowers up now to speak about Tammy Carlone. Most of the people in this room know Tammy. I'll let Patty talk about her, but Tammy's worked with us for many years, and she's a dynamite person. There's very few people that I know that have passion at the level that she has passion. And I really am glad that Tammy stepped up to the plate and decided to run for the Board of Education, because she has that passion for our children. So I'll let Patty tell you more about Tammy. Thanks for that.
So this is going to be real quick, especially since many of you do already know Tammy. If you don't know Tammy, talk to your neighbor, and your neighbor can tell you more about her. The quick thing about her is that the progressives that run the schools, the local schools that her kids have gone to, her kids are now at U of M, and the progressives that are running these schools fear her. So that's the thing. Roseanne talked about her passion. She's passionate, and she's knowledgeable. She's an education expert. She's been involved in the local schools. She's been involved statewide as vice president of Stop Common Core in Michigan. She actually was one of the authors for the bill HB 4192 to repeal Common Core. That's still rolling. Hopefully we'll be able to get that done. But she's doing the legwork. She's doing the hard work to try to make these things happen. She's not just been talking about it. The State Board of Education is an 8-year, totally volunteer position. She's not doing this for power. She's not doing this for money. She's doing this because she cares about her kids. And so somebody who's been involved in education issues on the local and the state and even on the national level. And if you want to, she's also got these cool bumper stickers now. So I've got some here. I'll bring them around. There's also some out on the table, but I'll come around. I've got these, and I've got her her literature that's got just some of the bullet points of some of the things that she's done. Also, she could use your help. This is a lot of work. Right now, she's in Gladwin. Hopefully, she's on her way home. But she was in Gladwin, Michigan today. Remember, this is a statewide race, and so she's been all over the place. I will be around if you have any questions. Thanks.
All right, Patty.
Thanks, Patty.
Thank you, Patty. And without really much introduction, Matt Maddock.
Yeah, thank you,
Because he
Matt.
doesn't need one.
Hey, thanks for showing up tonight. This really means a lot to all of us, and I feel guilty when people ask you, Matt, what can I do to help your campaign? What can I do? Can I go walk for you? No. I'm in a fairly safe Republican district. If I don't need help walking doors right now, I'm going to probably do another 3,000 doors myself. What we need help with is raising enough money to finish the campaign. So if you want to, who knows who Dog the Bounty Hunter is? Dog and Beth the Bounty Hunter, right? Great people, great Christian people. They've been a friend of ours for many years. They're coming to town to do a special fundraiser for us on October 2nd. And if you just go to Eventbrite and search Maddock, it'll come up, right?
Yep.
Yeah, so come out and see, have a great night. We make things fun. This is going to be a great evening. And come see Maddock with Dog the Bounty Hunter. It's going to be a great night. I want to tell you two things about Trump really quick that you'll never hear in the media. When Michigan Trump Republicans was invited to the White House about 6 weeks ago, we had a chance to spend some time in the White House and speak with the White House staff, who remains there even as a president's change, right? So they get to know the presidents very well. Something about Trump that none of you will hear about in the news media. Wherever he goes, he carries between 10 to 12 banker's boxes with him. Does anyone know what a banker's box is? It's a heavy-duty cardboard box. Well, he doesn't carry them himself. He has staff carry them. But everywhere he goes, on Air Force One, when he travels out of the country, even when he's campaigning, he's got these boxes with him. And inside each one of those boxes is a special project that he's working on for we the American people.
Right.
The White House staff, when Obama was in office, the White House staff was often told, don't even look at me or talk to me unless you're talked to first. Mm-hmm. President Trump knows all the staff by name. He knows about all their kids, knows about all their family. Mm-hmm. He said that he is the most hardworking, nicest president they've ever had, and some of these people have been there for 25, 30 years. Mm-hmm. Second thing, when President Trump won, when he was in the Trump Tower at about 1:15 in the morning, we happened to know one of the people that was about 15 people in the room at that time. And this is something else you never hear in the media. President Trump was crying like a baby, giving all the glory to God.
Yep.
All right?
Amen.
Just know that well.
Thank you, Matt. Okay, so I'd like to share with you, Michigan Trump Republicans last year traveled across the state of Michigan, and our main goal was to recruit precinct delegates to make sure that next year the precinct delegates that get elected to go to the Republican National Convention are true Trump supporters, and we don't have any shenanigans like they tried to do last time. So as Marion and Michonne and Diane traveled across the state, we ended up recruiting 1,200 delegates. And I know that there was a lot of work. but it was really good times, because it was really great to like go into a town that you don't know and throw a Michigan Trump Republican event, and all these strange people come out because they love our president and they want to help him and they want to make sure that he's reelected. So it was really a wonderful, inspiring moment for all of us that participated in that. And I know that there's a couple of women here that have worked on our Wednesday ladies group, and I want to give a handout to them because they actually handled all those 1,200 applications, checking them, double checking them, triple checking them, calling to get information that was missing, and then posting them to all the 83 counties across the state of Michigan. And we certainly could not have done that without them. So those of you here that are our Wednesday war group, thank you very much. This past August, Michigan Trump Republicans was able to flex some muscle, and we endorsed candidates across the state. We created an endorsement label, and we gave it to those candidates and said, use it as you wish, and many of them did. And I want to just list some of the candidates that we supported that won their races. Tom Leonard won for Attorney General.
Right.
Tom Barrett, John Bumstead, Pam Hornberger, Matt Baddock, Matt Hall, Steve Johnson, Michelle Hutninga, Lee Chatfield, and Wes Nakagiri. We also ran one district on the west side. There was 5 people competing for it, and we ran a campaign, anyone but Danielle Garcia. She was a Republican rep there that was trying to step up into the Senate. And Danielle was rated a F+, I guess, on the conservative rating. So Jim's familiar with Danielle. She calls herself a Republican but votes like a Democrat. So we were very happy to see her defeated, and her political career is over for right now. So we were very glad that she wasn't moving up into the Senate. Now, I know I just read off a list of names and you may not be familiar with them, but at the Michigan Trump Republicans, we have the ability to look across the whole state, because what we realize is it's wonderful to get out and work for your local people, but they can't do it on their own. They need peers in the Senate and in the House that are going to vote with them. So as we look out across the state, we're able to say, yes, we're going to support that conservative. Some of these conservatives were already House members and were being primaried by establishment picks to get rid of them because they were too conservative.
No.
Some of them ran in open primaries. But so we're really happy that we were able to make a difference and push some of them across the line and retain some of the conservative members in the House and move some of them up into the Senate. But by doing that, we also drained our bank account. So what I'm here to do is to ask you, if you've got one of these on your table, and if you don't have one, see me, I'll get you one. Please consider making a donation to the Michigan Trump Republican PAC. We can take corporate checks, we can take personal checks, and there's no limit on what we can take. You can give money to different organizations, but know that if you give your funds to Michigan Trump Republicans, all of it goes to conservative causes. None of us are paid, we have no paid staff. Our office space is donated. We spend very little on communicating with you. It's probably our biggest expense. I just did the P&L, and I think we spent $3,000 last year on communicating. All the rest of it goes to conservative candidates, conservative issues. So if you are concerned about the state and keeping it conservative, please consider writing us a check. I can also take a credit card from you tonight as well. And we appreciate anything that you want to give us so that we can continue to keep Michigan red. We do have all of your emails if you signed up online or you signed up, walked in and registered, and you will be getting the information that we talked about in terms of walk dates and in terms of being trained and in terms of the dinner opportunities that we have going on for phone banks. Again, it is so important. The people that show up are the people that are going to win. You need to show up. You need to make sure that you use your circle of influence and get your friends and family to show up as well. So I thank you all very much for showing up tonight. I appreciate it. God bless. Stick around, have another drink, enjoy yourselves, And we'll see you soon. Thank you.
All right, Roseanne. Who knows how to play piano? Hey, Patty, how are you? Good job. Have a good night. We'll talk to you soon.